had a lot of people reach out after our awards segments yesterday. I wouldn't say in a panic, but just like with a question that we forgot to answer. And it's like a really simple question. I want to just do it here to start. Obviously, we'll clip off this segment too. And because I think I glossed over it, and I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, is this going to happen? If Tyreek Hill, so, and the question I got from at least 8 people, honestly, was, oh, if Tyreek Hill wins MVP, do I have to bet someone else to win Offensive Player of the Year? Like, if he actually has a long shot, like, takes this award home, does that upend like a really big position that we have on him to win Offensive Player of the Year? And I could see, like, if you didn't bet awards a lot, or you just kind of like, you're a sports fan, but you don't really like know exactly how this stuff works. That's like a legit concern. Like, wait, what? Like, if he wins, what happened? Oh my God. Like, could it get crazy? It's not that he has to win both. If he wins MVP, he has to win Offensive Player of the Year. In the last like 50 years, every skill position player that won Most Valuable Player also won Offensive Player of the Year. So I would just say, like, don't worry. like it's okay. Like, you don't have to, like, false alarm. You don't have to go like jam Christian McCaffrey to win Offensive Player of the Year. If it seems like especially if it becomes more and more likely that Tyreek wins it, like, say, has a huge game against Tennessee on Monday night, really gets close to the 2,000 yards, and this conversation starts to pick up steam. Like, should he win Most Valuable Player if the quarterbacks are all not very good? Don't worry. And imagine if you're a voter. Like, you can't not vote him Offensive Player of the Year, like, hoping he gets MVP. Like, you have to put him number 1 Offensive Player of the Year because, like, he is deserving of that award. And you would never want him to not get both because you, like, thought you made a judgment call that you thought he was going to win Most Valuable Player. So if he wins Offensive Player of the Year and MVP, that would fit very well historically. If he wins Most Valuable Player, he does not become ineligible for Offensive. You're all good. It's okay. Like, and I think he's obviously very likely to win at least one of those awards, Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe he gets MVP too.
I think it would be funny. Not funny, but if Tyreek went for 2,000 receiving yards, it was, Christian McCaffrey did go for 1,300 on the ground. I think we have our Offensive Player of the Year.
Guys electric.
Yeah. I'm at the point in the season when I'm waking up in the middle of the night and just Tyreek Hill MVP. Like, I wake up and I just jolt myself awake. Like, that's the point of the season we're at, where I'm going to speak this into existence every opportunity that I can get. And it's funny how that works. You write a story about it for Fox, and then people are telling you don't know football because it should be Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy. This is as wide open as I can remember an MVP race. Through 17 weeks, there are 6 guys that could win it, but Tyreek Hill continuing to make a case to be the first receiver to do it.
Sam, let me ask you, because I know, like, if I ask you, like, do you like Tyreek Hill to win? Like, you bet, for people who don't know, Sam bet Tyreek at a really big price. The ticket is looking really, really awesome, like, as the price continues to come down. And we would imagine it would come down even more because he plays Tennessee on Monday night, could score, a million touchdowns in that game. Who is the player, like, you're holding a Tyreek ticket for a ton of money. I'm sure people out there maybe bet him or have started to bet him to win this award. Who is the player you're the most worried about? You mentioned in the middle of the night you wake up like Tyreek Hill MVP. Like, who gives you the nightmares? Like, is it Dak? Is it Purdy? Is it someone we're not talking about right now? Like, who's the player you're the most worried about that you think separates you from cashing that ticket?
Lamar Jackson gives me the biggest scare because of, not only Baltimore being a really good football team, he's putting up awesome numbers this season. I mean, we're talking about a quarterback that could throw for, he's got 2,600 yards. I don't know that he gets to 4,000 through the air, but we're talking about a 3,500 passing yard quarterback and then a guy who's going to rush for, close to 1,000 on a team that could be the number 1 AFC seed. So that's something that sort of makes me nervous. I still think it's lazy to say that, Purdy and Prescott are the MVPs. I don't think they're the best players in football. Jalen Hurts has been good, not great. Tua is not even the best player on his own team. And then Mahomes just hasn't found rhythm with these receivers. But there's still, several weeks to go, so somebody could raise his game and potentially take off. I think if Lamar goes bananas against the Rams this weekend and gets like 3 touchdowns or something, Ravens move to 10-3, he's going to get more shine, and well-deserved too, because he's really playing well this year. Lamar scares me the most, though, of all those guys.
Our executive producer is Alex Fasano. Alex, what do we have first here in the old whatever the hell we're calling this segment?
All right, in the old whatever the hell we're going to call this segment, we'll start in the YouTube chat. This guy at Andrew Moali has a bet for you guys. Jake Ferguson over 43.5 receiving yards and over 4.5 receptions. He wants you to take ladders on both. His reasoning.
Okay, well, before you do this here, so we put that back up, Mike. The guest graphic of Alex here. Look, Alex, I met you in person. Like, Alex is a handsome kid. Alex, you ain't this handsome, man. This should be like, if you were single, this should be like your Tinder picture. Like, you look like a movie star in this picture. You look like you're like a panel of like a Marvel movie or something. Chris Hemsworth should be sitting next to you.
You're like Robert De Niro's second cousin or something. I mean,
God, I mean, Alex is a handsome kid. You ain't this handsome though, man. This is a good picture. Tell us why Andrew likes the Jake Ferguson bets.
Yeah, back in my glory days. Andrew likes these Jake Ferguson bets because Philly linebackers obviously aren't great versus tight ends, and Ferg had 11 targets in Week 9, expecting him to be used in high-leverage situations, and there should be a lot. Hashtag Ferg.
Ferg. Jake Ferguson ladders.
When I hear Ferg,
yeah, what do you got?
Is that when Kimbo Slice used to fight in whatever fighting thing that he fought in, not UFC. Well, he fought in UFC for a little bit. Whatever that other one was, like they'd be like Ferg, like his corner would like yell that at him, or like his friends or whatever, like Ferg.
He died, right? Kimbo Slice.
Yeah, I think he passed away like a while ago. Yeah,
he just a legend. Kimbo, the late great Kimbo Slice.
I still remember,
I don't remember
seeing like the E60 feature that they did on him, and I was like, I can't believe this is a real person. I was like, I just can't believe this is a real person.
Ferguson could definitely go over here. I guess so the Eagles did sign Shaq Leonard, so maybe we'll see Shaq. I mean, their linebacking play couldn't be worse than it's been. Right. With how bad the Eagles corners have been, you would think that this is going to be gay. You know what? Like, I honestly, I don't have a reason why I don't like this bet. I think it's probably more of like a Lamb or a Cooks game, but like Ferguson could definitely go over. I guess, Ken, the only thing that would give me pause here is like, what does the introduction of Leonard do? Does Byard continue to acclimate into this defense at all? And like, because the Eagles have obviously, and we've talked about this a lot, not just this year, but over the course of the last couple of years. Even Baldy like never says stuff like this. So this one noted the other day when he was like, the Eagles basically ignore these positions. We've been saying it for years, and we're not the only ones that know it. They ignore linebackers and safeties. They're like analytically sound in that regard, where like that's kind of like what analytics tell you to do. And I think they're kind of like, we need to address this now. Look what Kelsey did to them in the Super Bowl. They trade for Byard. They signed Shaq Leonard. So I'm a little curious how this is going to go. I don't hate it. I also don't know, Ken, if I'm going to make this particular bet on Jake Ferguson. Feels like this is like a game where I know I'll probably like some overs on player props here. Let's find out what Brad likes in this game. My friend, what do you got for us here Sunday Night Football in Dallas?
Oh, I'm feeling Ferguson, boys. Jake Ferguson's a guy that I already attacked on the receptions market. Took the over on 4.5. Yeah, I see you there chuckling, Ken. Maybe I like to feel some plus size.
We had a guy we did an interactive segment, Brad. We had people send in questions as I try to regain my grasp of the English language. We had our fans of the show like send in their favorite bets, and we would like review them on the show. Like, and our producer picked them out. Hey, this guy likes this guy. That came up. In the you're not alone. My point is, you're not alone here. So you come on, you say the same thing. Like there's
3 minutes in the last segment talking about this, to Ken's point, like about Jake, this exact bet that you're about to discuss.
This is not this is not teasing. This is consensus, Brad. So make your case. We've already heard a case in the last segment. Make your case for Ferguson.
All right, let's double, triple, quadruple down on Jake Ferguson. I'll take the overall receptions. I grab it at 4.5, and I grabbed it plus money at BetMGM yesterday to look at Philadelphia. We know how rancid, how forgiving they have been through the air, evidenced by their number 25 ranking and pass EPA defense. They give it a 4.9 receptions per game. 6 tight ends have gone over this. And you look at Ferguson, he went ham, as we all know, in the first matchup. 10 targets, 7 catches, over 90 yards, and a TD. Week 9, he is number 12 in yards per reception. He's running 23.6 routes per game, the fourth most of any tight end in the NFL. And he's getting a decent amount of the team target share. I know CD Lamb is going to be a busy man. Brandon Cooks probably going to be good for 3 to 4 receptions. But I feel the lowest hanging fruit, again, a watermelon on a twig, in my estimation, is Jake Ferguson hitting that over on 4.5 receptions at plus 105. And hopefully I have sold the masses yet again.
My friend, let's get to some matches coming up for this weekend in the Prem, and then I think we'll head to Germany for where in the world. We look forward to that. Let's start with Crystal Palace and Liverpool. What do you got for this one?
Yeah, we were just talking about Liverpool. I still think they have probably the best chance to upset City for the league title, but I think the one reason they won't do it is their road form. And if you look at the delta between home performance and away performance, the number one difference has been Aston Villa, who just had a big win Thursday against City. The second biggest difference between home and away this year is Liverpool. They've been the best team in the league at home. They've won every match, plus 19 goal difference. Away from home, conceding over 1 expected goal per match on average. And now they're dealing with an injury that's pretty important in Alisson being out. And I kind of poo-pooed it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, well, they can maybe get by here. Look, the downgrade to Kelleher is significant. He was at fault for 2 of the 3 goals they conceded to Fulham. They gave up a full expected goal to Sheffield United on the road on Wednesday in the league. Sheffield United only done that on non-penalty goals 2 other times this season. So the fact that they got there is a little concerning. There are some red flags for this defense. Palace is without their second best attacker in Eze, and now their best attacker, it just dropped like 5 minutes ago, may not start tomorrow. So I don't love that. But I do like Palace here at the number. +1, minus 105 is out there. Liverpool has taken some money with this news about Michael Olise potentially not starting. But like I said, their road form, if you're giving up almost an expected goal or more per match on the road, it's very hard to cover these big spreads. And I think Liverpool's going to have a problem doing that tomorrow. So I do like some Palace. I already bet them, so I'm locked in. Hopefully Olise gets to start, and we can root on our Eagles.